I'll never forget, I was exhausted and I was standing in front of a customs official in the Lagos airport in Nigeria. And her question was really simple but very, very direct. Where is your yellow immunization card? Oh, my face turned yellow. I felt like, I'm sure, as my eyes darted through my passport. I was really no stranger to the Nigerian custom process and was usually pretty well thought out and on my game. But this trip was very different for some reason. And it was a situation where I literally grinned back at who we would call mommy, and I looked at this powerful lady in this powerful moment and said, "Ekaro mommy, shedadani." And she laughed a little cautiously, and then she asked again in a playfully and inquisitive tone, "Your yellow card?" And I said with a real thoughtful smile, I'll find it." And she, in a bit of frustration, a bit of curiosity, but also understanding that maybe I knew the culture a little bit, she waved me through with my passport, my visa, and a yellow card that I was committed to find. I eventually did find it, by the way. It was a situation for me, though, where I sat there metaphorically naked and hoping for the best with some noticeable Nigerian perspiration. That's the typical posture when hiring a team member. We're hoping for the best with noticeable perspiration. It's very similar to how I felt in that moment with that customs official. But we don't have to feel that way as business owners when it comes to hiring. In fact, we can restore a lot of confidence in hiring if we're willing to put in some work. And I'm going to walk you through a couple of little elements here that I think will be very helpful. As business owners, we're constantly working to maximize profit, to generate good cash flow, and a host of other metrics and deliverables and things we should be following. But when it comes to hiring, sometimes we look like middle schoolers out on a first date. You know, a little awkward, a little out of place. So there's two things that you can install into your business right now, literally right now, to help you mature the process for how you bring in that powerfully important asset and relationship of people into your business. So there's two things that I'm going to point out. The first one is super, super simple, and that is simply have a written hiring process. You literally need to write the hiring process out. An actual process that you'll follow no matter how desperate you are for employees, nor how well you may know that said candidate that you're talking about. Well, it's just my uncle and I want him to, ooh. Even more the reason to have a written out hiring process. Important elements of a hiring process really combine a mix of subjective things, that's how you feel, kind of the eyeball test, the sense that you get, those sorts of things, and then objective things, what the data actually says. So subjectively, having an initial phone call followed by a series of live meetings is a way that you can begin to subjectively kind of see and feel what's in front of you. A live discussion sequence that we recommend looks a little bit like this. So I want you to follow this. Number one is an initial phone call. And all it is a simple get to know you. Not details about the role, not details certainly about compensation or anything like that. Just, hey, tell me about who you are. Where'd you come from? Remember, we're not in a simple dating relationship. We're talking about marriage when it comes to hiring. Number two, go through a live interview. Now watch this, with a focus on vision, mission, values, culture, and direction, not role. There will be no discussion about the actual role that you'll be hiring that person for. Now, you might be a little confused on that. The goal of the first live interview is to find out if they fit the company. Literally, you share those elements of vision, mission, values with them, the culture with them, and have them go home and call you later if they're still interested in the actual role. Because here's the reality. They may like the role, but hate the company. We need to know if they buy into the company before they'll ever buy into the role. Because if they don't buy into the company, eventually they're not going to buy into the role. And by the way, I am dead serious about this. You share vision, mission, values, culture with them, but no discussion around the job role. The third is a simple follow-up phone call, and I put the word profit. What I really meant was profile. The word profile, so just replace that there. Instead of profit, let it say profile, because what we want you to do is we want you to actually send them some sort of personality profile, whether it's a DISC, a Myers-Briggs, a Colby, a Berkman, it doesn't matter what it is, but get some objective data to their personality back, and that's where that can happen. In your follow-up to say, hey, we're interested in you. Are you still interested in the culture, in the business here? Great, we're going to send you a personality profile. Number 3 is your next live interview. That's right, you're going to have a second one. In fact, I've got another one for you down the road. But this will actually include other team members. If you're not a solopreneur, other team members. And if you are a solopreneur, I would encourage you to invite in other stakeholders in your business, subcontractors, vendors, valued customers. Bring them into this process. It won't hurt to do that because they're ultimately going to be the ones serving your customer. So have an interview. You can do this over lunch. This is where you actually sit down with team members or valued stakeholders and you walk through the role. You have a printed out job role. You walk through that role, and that's the focus of the entire discussion with the initial layout of the company compensation structure. So you may not talk about the actual number here, but just kind of this is how we generally compensate, base plus this kind of bonus program or whatever it looks like, your benefits, generally what we do. All right, so you've got that. Now you've got another set of subjective and objective data. We're going to move to the next live interview. That's right, I've got another one. Why? You may say, Scott, I don't have time for this. I need this to go faster. Gang, that's the point. We have got to intentionally slow this down because too many times we make decisions, and when we make a bad hiring decision, it's going to cost your business minimum of about $15,000 to $25,000 in a bad hiring decision. So you want to have a live interview. We recommend this over dinner with a spouse if possible, or a significant other, or whatever. Dave Ramsey actually says it best. He says, if we find out you're not crazy, then we need to confirm that your spouse isn't crazy, because either way, we cannot let crazy in the building. And I love how he put it there. So just going out to dinner or just spending some additional time together, just kind of rapping about things, talking about things. Hey, any other questions about vision, job role, anything else you can think of, and then you'll do your final offer. And you might say, well, Scott, can't we do it faster? No, that's my whole point. I don't want you to do it faster. I want you to do it slow. If you want to be less informed and hasty, then yes, you can go faster. But part of the value of multiple steps is the intentionally slow down the process. So everyone, including you and including them, can really process all the information. Objectively, here are some elements of the process that will give you hard metrics to look at. Administering a personality profile is crucial. You don't want to hire a people person for a highly technical and isolated job, so that's really important. Also, references. Yes, ask for references. Call every one of your references. You never know, and all it takes is one phone call to provide you with more intuition and information than you can ever receive. Number 3, contract your candidate for a couple of hours to do an actual work on a project. Be creative. If you're hiring an estimator, give them an old bid to estimate. Find out how they do the job. All 3 of the objective opportunities are severely underutilized, those 3 ideas, primarily because they take time and effort, and it's frustrating. So embrace the time and effort. See it as a gift, allowing you to make an incredibly powerful decision. It's romantic to think that, hey, I was at a gas station and a guy walked up and we hired him on the spot. Don't do that. That may have worked for your grandmother's dating game 70 years ago, but not for hiring. Second thing that we've got to be able to focus on is super, super important in the hiring process is the onboarding process. Once you've hired them, you're not done. Day 1 is no longer day 1. The first day for your new team member is actually the start of their warm-up period, which should be about 3 months. So a healthy onboarding process will include a simple layout of what the new team member will learn according to their role week by week over the first 12 weeks. So weekly, the new team member will sit down with their direct report and they will begin to walk through a series of questions that are super simple but very, very powerful. And so those questions are, you ask them and you talk about follow-up from the discussion last week. You talk about what are you seeing and thinking right now. And so ask them that question. What are you seeing and thinking right now? Also, we've got to be able to ask the question of, do you have any questions about your role this week? Very, very important to think through that. Do you have any questions about your role this week that we can talk through as well? Also, what blind spots are we missing? What new ideas do you have? What do you need from me? And here's what I see in you. Spend 10 minutes reviewing that simple list of questions every week with your new team member, and your investment will begin returning in a major way. A simple implemented onboarding process is one of the simplest ways to ensure a powerful hiring investment. So as owners, let's commit to just stop crossing our fingers and hoping for the best. And instead, let's work the process. And when you work the process, you'll be liberated from the chaos of working in your business. Hey, thanks for joining me. And as always, you can check us out. Head on over to freedom.mybusinessonpurpose.com deliverables.com, where we are waiting to help liberate you from the chaos of working in your business. My name's Scott Beebe, also the host of the Business on Purpose podcast, the author of the book, Let Your Business Burn. Go get a copy, send it out to your team members, and you guys go through that book together.